without any further ado, the man that makes it happen, the head football coach of the University of Mount Union, that of course is head coach Geoff Dartt. Coach, good afternoon. Happy Thursday. How's your week going?
Going good. Thanks for having me on.
You got it. We got to keep things rolling here. Getting ready for man, I can't believe I'm going to say it. The regular season finale is coming up on Saturday, and I know football season, because we both love it. It gets here and it goes so quickly. And I know you don't really have time to stop and smell the roses, but even though it's just the end of the first chapter, have you had a couple of seconds today or last week to think, man, it's zipping by again on us again?
Yeah, we actually talk about that all the time in our staff meetings. But, once we get done with our bye week, which obviously was a little bit different this year after our first two games, it's normally after our first game, it flies by. You're just into the routine and into the grind of, preparing, right, after the games on Saturdays and then on Mondays, and then you hit the ground running with practices Tuesday through Friday. So yeah, it's gone quick. I think our coaches have done a great job handling it, and obviously our players have too.
Do you, as a head coach, and of course you have to, you got to be hands-on, but you also delegate in that position. Do you still enjoy the daily practice grind leading up to the games as much as you have?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, I've always told the offensive line, hey, my days are Tuesday through Friday, the practice days. Saturday, I'm confident you're prepared. I'm not going to mess with you, so go out and let it rip. But I don't know how other coaches would handle that. But, I think that's where, we're all working together throughout the course of practice in the week. And then that's the loyalty and the trust that the players and coaches have in one another, and they go out and execute.
Well, and Coach, I think you have to have that. I mean, if you have, you can lean on somebody. You respect the grind. You respect the constructive criticism they may get one day. They respect the pat on the helmet they might get the next time. I think you need that. I think you need that unity, that chemistry, that family, that trust. That goes a long way.
No question, it does. And I really think that's been why we've done the things we do through the last couple seasons, right? Not, the two seasons before that, it was very similar to that, but I think it's just been building even more. And, I've mentioned this before on the show, but, offensive line and running backs, we always meet together. And today we had a great meeting, which was more so them speaking rather than me. And it was great. We all got on the same page, just correcting a few things, nothing, serious or anything like that. But sure. Now heading into practice here in about 20 minutes, totally confident that they're going to execute practice and feel better about some things.
Yeah. Before we take a quick look back at Marietta, this being the final regular season game, you've got it at home. Does it feel any different this week as far as maybe how some of the seniors are approaching or acting, or maybe just kind of trying to soak things in a little bit? Or is it pretty much, business as usual until you get where you want to go?
Yeah, probably a little bit of both, right? I would hope that, they have some of those thoughts, right? Sure. But still got to finish with Muskingum, and then, we'll see what happens from there, but none of that matters, unless we do finish with Muskingum, and they absolutely have our attention. They are dynamic on offense. They have a new head coach, but their defensive coordinator remains the same, and they did some great things against us last year defensively. So we got to get it done on Saturday before we worry about anything else.
No doubt. Just a quick peek back to Marietta. Got to talk about Davion Grant. I mean, 9 catches for 170 yards, both season highs. He makes the usual catch. He makes the fantastic catch. He has a lot of yards after the catch. He is really starting to spark, isn't he?
Yeah, he really is. He practices so hard that sometimes, he's off on the side after practice running, and we're like, Davion, just calm down. We don't need you running anymore or getting hurt. And he wants it all the time. But I think that it talks about, Coach Collins, how he's been organizing the offense in terms of the pass game. But it's really all three of the starting receivers, Davion, Jacob, and Nick have all had success, in different moments of the season. So I think that's a good thing to have as, we're coming into the last regular season game.
Another question about Davion, and this is what I find just entertaining, funny, and also, I respect the personality that wide receivers have. Is Davion the kind of guy that would always come back to the huddle chirping at Mikey saying, I'm open, throw me the ball, I'm always open, coach, give me the ball? Or is he a guy that just goes out and just lets it come to him?
Yeah, I think any receiver wants the ball, right? I haven't heard that too much. Our guys are pretty selfless. Really what they talk about when they come off on the sidelines is, getting things correct, but more so about, encouraging each other to block, which I like a whole lot. Even in some cases, I was like, I like that you guys have high effort to block, but let's create an explosive play in the pass game. But their willingness to work together, encourage one another, support one another is really, really awesome.
It sounds like you've got a good group and a good hand on what you want them to do. And I'm talking about the wide receivers. Is it sometimes, though, hard to get a wide receiver to block downfield sometimes, or no?
I wouldn't use the word hard. I think it's more about the effort and understanding, obviously, the scheme, right? When do I have to do this? How do I have to do it? Depending on, do we want the ball to be ran inside of them, outside of them? But I think it's more about the want and the willingness to go do that. And those guys, you see the effort that they go with. Mm-hmm. Sometimes we get, hey, just finish with a shove. You don't got to try to take anyone down. But I'd rather have those conversations than trying to beg someone to block.
Right. No doubt. Sometimes you got sometimes you got to ask them to tune it down a little bit, but that's a better problem to have. Head coach Geoff Dartt is with us with the Mount Union Purple Raiders, coming off a win over Marietta last weekend. They got the Muskies coming to town Saturday at 1:30. Defensively, coach Ricky Levac, Gabe Ganelli, I thought stepped up against Marietta on Saturday, and talk about their progress, if you would, as we get ready for game number 10.
So start with Ricky first. He's a sophomore. He's only been getting better and better with more opportunities. Has been great on special teams all year and was starting to come on at the end of last year as a freshman. So he actually absolutely took advantage of that on Saturday with the big interception. Made some great tackles in space to, get the ball back to the offense. And then Gabe, very, very similar, very talented as a freshman, and, had a great offseason in the weight room. And then this summer, and, we're obviously seeing the benefit of that in the work that, he's put in, and he's made that decision himself that, he wants to work, and he's in the spot that he's in because of that.
As you get ready to go out and practice on a day like today, and we've talked on the past 8 or 9 Thursdays, near the end, do you ever try to watch and gauge your guys if how they're feeling, the mood they're in, what their energy level was like, and take me through that, because I know you put them through a pretty good practice, Yeah,
we talk about that as a staff. Our strength coach, as well. So there's been some times where we're going to pull back a little bit in the weight room, so they feel a little bit better going into practice. Mm-hmm. But it's all about the players, right? It doesn't matter how we're feeling as coaches, right? Because we don't have to go out and do anything as physical as to what they're doing. So being able to take care of them and them be willing to communicate with us. Again, I go back to the trust and loyalty standpoint. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, and I know each year is different. Every group is different. You've got your recruits. You've got a couple of guys that maybe that transfer in, and you put all this stuff in a mixing bowl, and you try to figure out what you have. Is there a point in the season, not before, but within the season, that you actually see all these parts kind of come together and get cohesive?
Yeah, it's been moving that way. I know it's kind of crazy to say, but I still don't think we've played our most complete game yet, which hopefully is a good thing. And we do it this weekend because we're facing a really good opponent. But yeah, I mean, it's always you start off with your plans, and you got to be able to pivot and move based on the personnel in terms of the players that you have, right? So if they're struggling to do this or that, you as the coach, it's all about players, formations, and plays. So what situations are we putting them in so they can be successful and add an advantage?
Geoff Dartt is our guest, the head coach of the Mount Union Purple Raiders. They're home 1:30 Saturday against Muskingum. Coach, you mentioned how watching things kind of come together, and let's just say, okay, how much film would you watch? I shouldn't say film, tape would you watch of Marietta getting ready for Muskingum? And do you ever go back to earlier games in the season to maybe look and see some things that you haven't tried in a while, and how did they work maybe week 1, 2, or 3, and try to re-implement them again?
Yeah, we definitely self-evaluate ourselves normally every 3 weeks, right? And sometimes, I mean, I'm as truthful as it gets, I think. But yeah, sometimes you forget about some things, and you have to go back and, all right, maybe from an offensive perspective, we saw a certain front or alignment, and how did we attack it? Did it work? Did it not work? What's our adjustment going to be? So, and obviously in some cases, if the coordinators stay the same, you look at last year's game, right? What went well, what didn't go well, and make adjustments off of that. And that's the same thing that we do on defense as well. So I think you have to be willing to do that in order to put your players in the best situation.
No doubt. One quick question on Muskingum. We'll get you the quiz, and we'll get you out to the practice field. You mentioned that they're tough. They do some different things for you offensively and defensively. Preparation-wise for them, I know, and you're always working on you, but as far as the Muskies, is there a player or two, a scheme or two that you're getting ready for?
Yeah, they have two very, very explosive receivers that are leading the league in yards and receptions. Connor and Garrett Gurney are two exceptional players. One is the quarterback, and one is a standout linebacker for them. And we actually recruited those two guys, so we're very aware of them. And then they have two really good defensive linemen, and number 92 and 95. So they absolutely, have our attention. They do great things on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game as well. So I feel like, after today's practice, we should be prepared, but we got to have a good one today.
No doubt. All right, 3-question Thursday quiz. You all ready, Coach?
Yes. Yeah, I'm ready. My 8-year-old daughter is upset that she couldn't be here today for these, but
well, she can always go back and listen to the podcast. I'm sure that's what she wants to do.
Yeah,
because all 8-year-olds want to do that.
Yeah.
Question number 1: who will play in the D1 college football national championship game?
Ooh, great question. Yeah, I would say Ohio State's playing really good right now. They're obviously the returning national champs, so I would be confident in saying that. Alabama's playing pretty good right now. Obviously, that's a very, very difficult conference, and the SEC championship I'm sure will show up. So Georgia as well. I'd say Ohio State, Alabama, Georgia, somewhere in that realm.
All right. We've got a lot of lot of comments today. Everybody thinks it's going to be Ohio State and Texas A&M. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be interesting.
Yeah, Coach Elko. Yeah. He does a great job too. Yeah, I completely forgot about that. Yeah,
we'll see. It'll be fun to watch it play out. Question number 2, Coach Dartt, best breakfast place in town. Where is it?
Ooh, I love Doug's Diner. Right across the street from campus. I think that's pretty good. Dunkin' Donuts makes a good breakfast sandwich as well. I'm a big Circle K guy, so I know that's
around you there yet.
Yeah, I know that's probably not the most popular thing, and my wife makes fun of me for it. But I think some gas stations have everything that you need.
I know. We've got one probably less than 3/4 of a mile from the radio station, and I've got a path worn out down there. It's really become quite sad, to be honest with you, but I can't stay away. Yeah. Question number 3: when will the Darts put their Christmas tree up?
Oh, yeah. I don't feel one way about that either way. I mean, my wife loves to decorate for all the seasons. So, I mean, if we wanted to put it up this weekend, I'd be all for it. So I'm normally not in control of those decisions, but if she and the kids want the Christmas trees is actually how it is in our house, then I'm good with getting that done.
All right. That's a good, solid, fundamental answer right there. You aced that one. Coach,
safe answer, yeah.
Appreciate the time. We'll see you at the Ball Yard on Saturday. Have a great week.
All right, thanks. Go Raiders.
There he goes. Head coach Geoff Dartt of the University of Mount Union. The Purple Raiders taking on Muskingum this Saturday at 1:30. You can catch it right here. We'll have the play-by-play on AM 1310 WDPN.